Good morning, YouTube. Today is Friday, February 7th, and we have a jobs report today that's going to be crucial. We may be sitting on the precipice of interest rates coming down. Good morning, Tom and Anthony.
Good morning. I thought we were going to open up a little song here today. We start
singing. Where are the deals? That's what everyone's saying in the housing market right now, because it is slow in real estate. That's why if you're a buyer, you should be buying before this spring market hits and before the rest of the public hears that rates are going to be dropping. So that's our theory. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And we got some economic news that hopefully starts bringing these rates down.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that, this report, I guess we got to hope for a bad report, but I'm hopeful that the rates do come down today because of the jobs report. And, this starts picking up. We need this real estate market to start picking up. It is dreadfully slow. It's probably the slowest it's been in 30 years.
Yeah, at least since, what was it? Since 95, 2024 was the slowest year in real estate since 1995. So that's the statistics. That's where we're at. So we need to get this market moving. And that's why I think we're right there. We're right on the edge, but you don't want to wait too long, because if you wait too long, then you'll be fighting with buyers again. So why do we think that? Well, first, the ADP jobs number came out Wednesday. It was higher than expected. That usually makes rates go up. It made rates come down because the jobs that were added were not the right types of jobs, and then we're losing manufacturing jobs. So that leads us to non-farm payroll today, where everyone is kind of expecting the same thing. If we link that with an inflation number next week, hopefully with all this talk about government spending, inflation comes down, and then we can really start seeing a movement and what we're going to see for 2025. Now, like we were just talking about last show, there is a crap ton of world news going on that if something happens across the world on the same day of one of these reports, well, that can just throw a curveball at everything, and we're kind of screwed then.
Yeah, it's a coin flip at that point, right? I mean, anything can happen in world news and economic news. The bomb or anything realistically.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we kind of laugh at economists, because economists are like weathermen. They can be wrong, or they can be right up until the point they're wrong, and then they'll just tell us why they were wrong, and we keep on moving with life. So, Anth, we're trying to guess the best we can, but where we're sitting February 7th with this information, with the spring market, with the winter we had, we're really thinking you need to get pre-approved in the next 14 days to be sitting in the time to buy for the spring market.
Yeah, I mean, the unfortunate part is everybody's waiting, but we all know on this chatter that waiting costs you more money. So ultimately, if they're waiting till spring to see what happens, they could be paying more when it comes to multiple offers. So
even though house prices aren't going up at 10% a year anymore, I think last year nationally they still went up at 3, 4, 5% a year. So they're still increasing. Housing prices are not dropping, but all we've heard is interest rates. Let's wait till they drop. Let's wait till they get to this point. Let's wait till they get to that point. And frankly, some of the rates we have available are already at the point people say they're going to. Once they get here, I'm buying. Well, guess what?
I love when we have those people and I'm like, oh, well, I have that rate. And instantly they try to find another excuse. But we do have those rates. I mean, you're about to dive into it here. Let them know how to get those rates. Most of the time you have to be a first-time home buyer. But we have those rates. We have rates in 5s. We've been quoting them all month.
So let's pull it up. Let's start getting into interest rates. First off, everyone has their own interest rate, and you guys can jump in here whenever you want to jump in. Credit score is the biggest determination, especially with conventional loans, with your interest rate. But again, we've been focusing for, I think all year, to not just looking at conventional loans, because government loans can be better for your buyer. And let's look at it. Okay. At West Penn Financial, we can accept buyers that have a 640 credit score or higher as long as we get underwriting approval. A 640 credit score, you're going to get a not a great rate with a conventional, right? You're going to be at 7.25 today with an APR of 8.01. If you went FHA, you're 6.5, 7.27 APR. So you don't get the ding for having, an average credit score on FHA. But as real estate agents, you guys don't see that. You don't understand that. You're just seeing, hey, I would prefer a conventional loan. Well, for this buyer, Tom, no way would we want to take a 640 credit score buyer conventional with these interest rate spreads.
No, absolutely not. Especially, you're looking at the APRs and the rates there, but qualifications is a whole nother factor of that as well. We have to get the buyer to qualify. We can't just say, oh, we need to get a buyer a conventional loan because that's the only deal that will get accepted because there was a window that wouldn't open or something. We're giving him the FHA option or her the FHA option because that is the best financially for them.
And as you go down both columns, you can see on a conventional spread, you're going to have a much larger spread for credit score. FHA, you're not going to have as big of a spread. And that's why we push that if you don't have the best credit score, conventional loans probably not going to be your best option. On the real estate side, maybe it's the best option. On the finance side, it's absolutely not the best option. And like Tom said, there's mortgage insurance, there's getting underwriting approval. A 640 credit score is much harder to get approval conventional than FHA.
This chart's great. I can't wait to present it at the next meeting just to kind of show the agents on what exactly, the buyer would be saving.
Yep. Mr. LePere, anything to add on this chart before we go to the next chart?
Yeah. I mean, as far as the interest rates when the client gets pre-approved, these rates are going to fluctuate a couple times a day. So, I mean, if you're waiting to buy, these rates are fluctuating 3 to 4 times a day with the market roughly every day until you find that property. So, conventionals are always going to be the best product. FHA wins a lot.
And do you see why, if Mr. or Mrs. Agent out there, if you call us today and say, hey, Rye, hey, Tom, hey, Ant, what's your interest rate today? What am I supposed to tell you guys? 6.65. I mean, there are so many, it depends on the buyer. There's just not a interest rate. But now let's get into it. If we're going to be looking at the first-time home buyers, right? These are for non-first-time home buyers. Now we're showing our first-time home buyer rates. Now, again, I don't know how many times we have to say this. If you're a first-time home buyer and you're buying in the state of Pennsylvania and you're not getting a pre-approval or second look through West Penn Financial, you are missing out on these rates. There is no catch. The catch is these rates are offered through PHFA, which is the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. That's it. Okay? They're legitimate rates. They're not baloney. They're not with points. They are state bond programs that are offered to you if you are a resident or if you're moving to Pennsylvania. There are income limits. There is a credit score requirement. As you see, it's 660 on this one. You can't go to 640. You need at least a 660 credit score, but as you can see, the rates are set. It doesn't matter your credit score. As long as you have a 660, you qualify, you're under the income limits. Look at these rates. Holy cow, we are in the 5s.
Those are sexy.
We've been these rates for the past year. So it's it's not like they just came up. We've been showing them for the last year. I mean, the big word I see is affordability. Let's go.
I mean, Ant, what is it we keep hearing? If rates get into 5.5, we'll have 5 million more buyers. Okay, well, Rates are in 5.5. So let's get the phone ringing. Let's see if we can get buyers qualified and get them into these rates so they can get into homes. It's going to stop sharing here so they can
Where
get into
are the deals? Do.
and they can afford it. It doesn't like we have good rates for these first-time home buyers are getting into the home saying, my head is spinning. I'm hearing all of this. 5.5. Not too bad to Ryan.
5.5. I think that's the way to market it. As an agent as well, I would say just say we could get you rates in the 5s or something. Maybe we'll help you out on compliance of that. You don't want to actually quote a rate, but you could absolutely talk to people and say that they could get that, something in the 5s. I mean, move the market.
They are legitimately there. Not every buyer is going to qualify. That's what we're here for. That's what the pre-approval's for. You figure out what you qualify, what your best program is, where your interest rate is today, and then you go find a house.
Yeah, pre-approval is a happy thing. It's not a negative thing. People call me and like they're worried about getting pre-approved. I'm like, you should be happy. Let's see what you can afford.
Right.
I'm on your team.
That's it. Speaking of teams, predictions. Anthony, who wins the Super Bowl?
You know what, man? I'm going for the underdog. I'm going for the Eagles, man. Go
Okay.
Philly.
Yeah, I don't know if they are the underdog, to be honest, Anth, but it's going to be a crazy game.
Yeah, everybody I'm talking to is rooting for the Chiefs. Got to go for the underdog if that's the case. So if they win, that'd be cool.
I got people on both sides of the spectrum, agents that like both teams. I have one of my managers actually going down to the Super Bowl, has a brother involved in the coaching staff.
Wow.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to make a prediction. I'm going to say the refs win this one.
I'm going with red Gatorade being dumped at the end of the game. There you go.
Good predictions. It hasn't been red yet. It's been purple the last 2, and purple is at plus 100 here for this 3rd Super Bowl.
The fact that he knows that is scary. See you Tuesday, boys.
So,